All right, let's talk about construction projects. Managing one can feel, well, like you're trying to tame a wild beast, right? It's complex, it can get chaotic, and things can go off the rails really, really fast. So today we are going to break down the core principles of project controls, the stuff that will actually help you steer any project to a successful finish. Let's get into it.
I mean, this is the big one, isn't it? It's the question that probably keeps you up at night. Why do so many projects go over budget or fall behind schedule? You know the feeling. You start with a solid plan, you've got a great team, but then things just start to drift. A deadline gets missed, a cost creeps up, and suddenly you're in deep trouble. So what gives? Why is this such a common story? Well, it really comes down to this. It's like you're trying to navigate a ship through a massive storm, but you've got no map, no ledger for your supplies, and no compass. You're just flying blind. And look, managing a construction project is almost exactly like being the captain of that ship. To get where you're going safely, you absolutely need those three things: a map, a ledger, and a compass. It's the same deal. Okay, so let's start with the first piece of the puzzle, charting your course. This is all about your project's map. I mean, think about it. No ship captain would ever set sail without a map, right? And you, as a project manager, shouldn't start anything without a crystal clear estimate. That estimate, that's your map. So what do we mean by project estimation? It's really just the process of figuring out what it's going to cost to get the job done. But here's the key. It is not a guess. It's a calculated forecast, all based on the project's scope. This number becomes your budget, your financial North Star. It sets the boundaries for the whole journey. It's the map that says, here's where we're going, and here's what it should cost to get there. Okay, so there are basically two ways you can draw this map of yours. First, you've got top-down estimation. Think of this like a quick sketch on a napkin. You start with a big picture budget, maybe from a similar project you did last year, and you just kind of break it down. It's fast, simple, and pretty good for those really early, can we even do this, conversations. But the accuracy? Not so great. Then you have bottom-up estimation. Now this is your hyper-detailed, two-scale nautical chart. You are pricing out every single task, every material, every hour of labor. Yeah, it takes a lot more time, but the accuracy is off the charts. Absolutely essential when you're putting in a serious bid. All right, map's done. Next up, the language of the job site, or as we're calling it, the ship's ledger. So you know where you're going, but now you need a way to track everything on board. I'm talking crew time, materials, down to the very last nail. You need a ship's ledger. And in our world, in construction, that ledger is your system of cost codes. Yeah, and this quote really just hits the nail on the head. Cost codes create a universal language. This is so important. When everyone, I mean everyone, from the person designing it to the person paying the bills to the person actually building it, is using the same set of codes, you're all speaking the same financial language. There's zero confusion about where the money's going. So what exactly are they? Simple, really. Cost codes are just a system of numbers or letters that you use to categorize every single cost. Every task, every 2x4, every hour of equipment rental gets its own unique code. What this does is transform that giant, chaotic pile of receipts and timesheets into a perfectly organized, super detailed financial snapshot of your entire project. So, why should you care? Why does this all matter? Well, with good cost codes, you can build incredibly detailed budgets. You can track your spending against that budget like right now in real time. And maybe most importantly, you can spot problems before they become disasters. If you see the costs for, say, concrete formwork suddenly spike, you know exactly where the fire is. It gives you incredible precision and control. Okay, let's keep going. We've got our project's compass staying on course. So let's recap. You've got your map, that's the estimate. You've got your ledger, those are your cost codes, but how do you know if you're actually on course while you're sailing? You need a compass, and in our world, that compass is called variance analysis. And the gold standard for doing this is a powerful technique called earned value management, or just EVM for short. If variance analysis is your compass, then EVM is the whole navigation system. It's the compass, the sextant, the whole shebang. It pulls together your scope, your schedule, and your costs into a few key numbers that tell you exactly where you are and, more importantly, where you're headed. The first piece of EVM is called planned value, or PV. All this is asking is, based on your plan, how much work should be done by now? It's your baseline. It's the path you drew on your map before you ever left the dock. Next up, earned value, or EV. This asks a different question. What's the value of the work we've actually done? This is where you measure your real progress. So if you finished, say, half the project, your earned value is half of the total budget. It's your true position on the map. And finally, there's actual cost, or AC. This one's the easiest of the three. It's just how much have you actually spent so far? That's it. This number comes straight out of your accounting books. Okay, so you've got these three numbers. So what? Well, this is where the magic happens. By comparing them, you get your compass readings. Cost variance, that's your earned value minus your actual cost, tells you if you're under or over budget. Schedule variance, earned value minus planned value, tells you if you're ahead or behind schedule. And trust me, catching a negative number here early on is a game changer. A tiny budget problem in week 2 can turn into a monster by month 3 if you don't see it coming. It's simple, but man, is it powerful. And look, this isn't something you do just once and forget about. As you can see here, EVM is a cycle. It's constant. You plan your work, you do the work, you measure where you're at, and then, this is the important part, you take action to get back on course if you've drifted. It's this continuous feedback loop that keeps your ship out of the rocks. Right. So let's talk about the digital command center, the modern ship. We've got our map, our ledger, our compass. That's our estimate, our cost codes, and our EVM process. It all sounds great in theory, right? But here's the catch. Trying to juggle all of this with old school tools, that's where so many modern projects completely fall apart. I mean, let's be real for a second. Charting your course, keeping your ledger perfectly organized, and constantly checking your compass, that is a ton of information to handle with, a clipboard and a pen, or even just a bunch of separate files on your computer. And you know what tools I'm talking about. Spreadsheets. Oh, the endless spreadsheets. And random chat apps. Trying to run a multi-million-dollar project on a patchwork of Excel files and 100 different chat groups is, frankly, a recipe for chaos. Information gets lost, wires get crossed, and costly errors start piling up. It's just like trying to captain that ship with a map that's torn, a ledger that's smudged, and a compass that's just spinning in circles. So, it's time for a modern command center. It's that simple. To navigate the kind of complex projects we build today, you don't just need the right ideas, you need the right tools. Everything integrated into one single place. You need the helm of a modern ship. And that's exactly the thinking behind a platform like Lementai.com. It is that digital command center, built specifically for construction. It takes your map, your ledger, and your compass, and plugs them all into one integrated system. Your estimate, your cost codes, your performance tracking, it all finally talks to each other. Really, what it's all about is getting away from the chaos. Seriously, just imagine it. Getting rid of all those disconnected spreadsheets. No more trying to find critical information in some random WhatsApp group. Lementai helps you digitalize your entire workflow, so you have one single source of truth for your whole project. And the best part? You can actually take the first step right now. You can get started and see how these tools work for yourself, completely free. So this explainer has been brought to you by Lementai. Thanks so much for tuning in.